we're here with another installment of the MECCA podcast, New York City Movers and Shakers. We're here with another culture curator, basically somebody that's in charge of a lot of stuff here in New York City as far as the basketball community is concerned. I'm here with the great Tiny Morton. Thank you for coming to our podcast. Thank you for being a big-time guest here. And anything you want to say to the community?
No, thanks for having me. Thanks for those kind words.
We'll see if the words are still kind as we go on with the interview.
Yes.
The reason why you were chosen as one of our curators within the New York City community is because you have a long history here in New York City as a player, assistant coach, champion at Lincoln High School, and then college, and then now you're back on scholastic level. Tell us a little bit about what you've done, who you coach, and what you see New York City as a whole moving forward, as well as also in the past.
Well, I coach a couple of NBA players that's probably most known to the community basketball world. But coached Lincoln High School for a couple of years, a couple of championships, a couple of state championships. Some great individuals that went on to college and NBA. Mm-hmm. And now I'm at Dajah High School, which is a nice fresh start for someone who's still in the coach basketball.
Right.
The other questions, it's a long answer, so
right.
How you want me to break that down?
Okay, we can start with when you played. If you were to compare eras, and I know that's a tough thing to do, the current state of New York City basketball, is it comparable to where you were when you played? Because we're about the same age.
No, and it's for a lot of reasons outside of basketball, especially with all these new fancy cameras around.
Right.
The media has just changed the game. Individuals that we lost changed the game.
Right.
So it's been changed a lot of different ways. That some of the ways we can touch it and help it out. Some of the ways we can't. Mm-hmm. It's just the way it is right now.
What could we do to help it, to get it back to where it once was? They call it the golden years, yesteryear. What can we do currently to get it back?
I don't know. That's a hard question because the rules of the game has changed. As you notice, NCAA is going to make some changes. It's going to trickle down and affect us in high school and before high school. Mm-hmm. So we got to really see how that change is going to affect us, because I know it's going to affect us in a way where basketball is a free sport, but those top players usually get perks to play the games. They get free gear or free trips. Mm-hmm. That's going to change because we're not going to be mandatory. It's not going to be mandatory to travel as much. It's a whole lot of things that's going to change, which I think is going to hurt the game more than help.
Particularly in New York City, because I think the NCAA is going to choose top elite, quote-unquote elite players, and New York City may not have as many elite players as across the nation, but we have a lot of players that can really hoop. So they may not get the exposure that they may deserve. You would agree with that?
Definitely. Not just New York City though, but we're going to be affected because we're so known for producing good players and just having that market for just marketing players. Mm-hmm. I think we're more known for that than anything. I think people get maybe a little bit twisted, especially in the last 10 years. We still have that niche to create the next fashion or even player, mm-hmm. but we don't really have the substance of the talents. So.
That's a great point. For instance, I know we spoke about on our last podcast, Isaiah Washington and what he actually did, his movement, spearheaded the Jelly Fam marketing efforts that were out here in New York City, the metro New York City area. We don't have the players like on that level anymore, or the talent just dropped off considerably?
We do have the players. I don't think we have I won't say coaches because it's not even coaching anymore. I don't think we have the guidance that we used to have. It was a little bit more disciplined in top level guidance. Especially, I mean, AAU plays a huge part. Everyone knows that.
Right.
You know, and, the AAU programs are not family friendly the way it used to be. It's more or less, what can we sell?
Business.
It's not even business no more. It's just stupidity, to be honest. Business is different.
Right.
Duke is still running the good business. So and they still got the same person, you know, when we played the game. So and they have changed their business to compete in today's market. So it's not even good business anymore. It's just bad. It's bad business. Good business is to get the kids from one level to the next level the right way.
Right.
Even if you have to give them extra perks. I mean, in terms of free trips, free gear and so on. But the way it's been run now, it's just different.
Okay. If you had a magic wand without throwing anyone under the bus, what would you change about the culture of AAU basketball? If you were in charge, whoever's in charge of all of Chargers.
I would make it mandatory that the shoe companies have to be in one roof at one time. It matters. That's one thing if we can do that. Because that's what's hurting the game right there. There's too much competition on who has the best players and what they wear. You know, they try to do that a little bit with the NBA camp. That still kind of got it filtered down to one shoe company.
Right.
But I would want probably the top, whatever, 100 players showcasing their game in one number, one venue.
Competition.
Yeah.
What about on a lower level, not necessarily the elite, but on a notch below that? Is there anything you would change? I'm sure you mentioned the coaches. Is there something you'd like to change on that level? Again, not throwing anyone under the bus, just speaking generally.
That's why that was being hurt, because guys looking at the top 4th and 5th graders, which is crazy. If colleges is not looking at the top 4th, 5th graders academically, while you're doing athletically,
right.
It's just too long of a relationship to have with kids. I think they're gonna really excel with the overall game. You know, at that level, we shouldn't be rating kids that day.
Right.
But they doing it because of the shoe companies.
Right. And they're looking at
one of the reasons is shoe.
Right. And they're looking at to sell their whatever their middle school rankings or whatever the case may be, in an effort to push a kid who, and we know statistically that kid is, not to knock him, he's going to struggle at some point. He's going to run into some type of adversity, because you never become the top 4th grader and become the top 12th grader. That's rare. The only one I remember, like maybe Kenny.
I wasn't even sure Kenny was rated that high.
No, he was top 8th grader.
Yeah,
and 8th grade, and then moved all the way up to top 4th grader. Are there too many teams? AAU teams?
If you want to call them AAU teams, I mean, are there too many colleges?
No.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think that the number of teams matters, because usually the cream will rise, you know. So there's not too many teams. It's just the organization is just spread too wide. It's just, basketball itself is just an easy enter and an easy exit. And I just think the guys in charge of the game is not just, it's not their business anymore.
Okay, the knock on New York City, and I'm sure like we've traveled, is that we have people that are in it for the wrong reasons. I'm guessing that's what you're hinting at. Whether it's financial or clout or prestige clout.
But it's not just the athletes and the coaches. I mean, social media and this new marketing era, it makes it profitable on all aspects.
Yeah.
Even doing podcasts.
Right.
Even doing just so-called training. It's just the business is just so sloppy right now. So it's going to be difficult. I'm seeing the curve where you're a doctor, usually your kids want to be a doctor or become a doctor. If you're a cop, usually your kids become police officers. If you're a teacher, usually your kids become teachers.
Right.
Now it's becoming, if you're an NBA player, there's a good chance your kid gonna be an NBA player.
Right, just off the social media aspect.
Or because of the connection.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's going to be the safe haven for most of these NBA organizations. That's what they're taking a chance on someone who might not have something.
Right. Because there's a new industry based upon just basketball, like you mentioned. It's the Ballers lifestyle, it's the podcasters, the training, there's the coaching. So a lot of it, and I'm a firm believer, there's a lot. The money's in bad basketball, right? And I'm saying it from a training standpoint also. We know that, but it seems like that's filtering into the AE, and that there's lower level teams that are trying to vie for the top notch. They're getting their kids plucked by the big boys, quote unquote big boys, and they're losing every game. They're going 0-20, but they're looking for highlights.
I don't think the goal is to win AE basketball. That's not the goal. And people who think that it's just brainwashed. The goal is to, like you said, to get your attention, how you're going to make money out of it.
Yeah.
And that's what most people are doing, is finding their niche to make money out of it. And this is the reason why it's a good game.
Wow. I wasn't expecting that, because it's the truth. And I think that what happens most of the time when the camera comes on, the bullshit comes. And I appreciate the fact that you're honest enough to be honest with it, because that's the sad reality in which we live in.
I never had to call a coach. I never really wanted to call a coach and say, I have a kid or two. I just try to put them on the right stage. And that's the luck I have had, is to be on the right stage and just coach the kids. By the grace of God, or just being lucky, the kid like Desi Rodriguez to be playing at the right time, at the right place, and you can take off. I mean, but even the kid like Desi Rodriguez, who played at a B school and came to me for 2 years, and now is almost in the NBA. It's coaching. It's coaching. I'm a firm believer. He had good coaching when he came to me. They continue at Seton Hall, and that's why he's what he's at. There's some guys that's been have big names in New York City, and when they go to the next level, they flop. It's the reason why. So I'm not the kind of guy who's going to lie or tell a coach that I have a good player because he has a big name or he got a good AAU or junior high school career. No. If he's worthy.
Yeah, but you play basketball, so you know what good is compared to what hype good is. That's obviously something that most of these guys lack?
Yes. Most of our people in charge of kids are lacking. It's kind of, and I don't understand why people don't see it. Because in order to be a college coach these days, you have to have touched the college floor, even as a coach or player. It's going to be rare to get another. You can't even say Danny Hurley because he's touched the college. He's played high level high school basketball, high level college basketball, and to go from a high school coach to a college coach, that wasn't abnormal.
Right.
Because he could have easily went from college to coaching college, from playing college to coaching.
Coaching, yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't something that's abnormal. So it's going to be rare for someone. And it's sad that I'm saying it, that you can think you could be the next Rick Pitino and go from a high school coach, a small high school coach, to be this great coach.
Right.
This is hard because the way the game is, it's kind of like it's in-house. If you're not in this house, then it's going to be hard for you to get a job.
Unless you go to VC Rec or video coordinator and go through that way and the back way, the dobo.
Still shooting dice doing that.
It's hard. It's hard.
So a lot of these guys that's finishing basketball in New York City, they first playing overseas, they finish in college, they trainers. So just being teachers, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about teaching in the classroom. Come back and give back the right way.
Right.
Don't just give back because you're trying to pay a bill. We all trying to pay bills.
Right.
It's the way.
So is training the bullshit now?
It is. And the reason why I say that is because most trainers don't. I mean, in order to train is like a tutor. In order to tutor someone, you have to know their weaknesses and their strengths, so you don't waste their time.
Right.
So how many trainers really come to their high school practice and look at the kid's weaknesses? Because if you look at the kid's weaknesses during the game, then you really don't understand the game of basketball. You know, I tell most parents that don't come and judge us on what we do in the games. Come to the practice.
That's where you're working.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So even the trainer who trains a kid on basketball skill won't even know if the kid has a LD. You know what I mean? So they wouldn't even understand if they're giving them the right training on the basketball court, but they don't know what kind of person they're dealing with.
Right, because he may be a visual learner, this learner, that learner, that learner, whatever the case may be.
Yes. So it's another, you know, another one of those money avenues, whatever you want to call it, that people are using. I can't knock the hustle.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to knock the hustle, but I'm not going to welcome it too much.
Right.
Man, in fact, I had Jerry Powell come to my practice to do a training one day, and then he sat and watched and so on. And he says, once he said what he said to me, I respect him a little more. When he said he's a trainer, he's not a coach, and there's a difference between both, then I looked at him a little different.
I agree with that.
And I feel the same way. I'm not a trainer.
Right.
I can't train. I don't want to be a trainer. I don't want to teach you how to be an individual. I want you to teach you how to be
a team.
Yes,
right. And I think that's what happens coaching and training, because I've done both, is you have to separate the two.
Yeah.
Because your job is to get the five working together, and the trainer's job is to get this guy to be able to do X, Y, Z. But I think what fails trainers is that they don't go see games or practices, and they don't understand how that one individual can affect the other four, which affects the team as a whole. So if a kid, you're working on a big man, working on triple threat, you're not really going to do that in the game. So let's work on what you're going to do in the game. So that's I think that's where the difference comes in. And it is a barrier between the coaching and the training. And Jerry's right, it's a big barrier. How do you overcome that? So if a kid, let's say, kills an AAU, and you see he's doing a high school video and he's killing, and then he comes to you during the season, and he expects the same type of latitude that he had AAU and or training, and then he comes to you and you're trying to fit him into a team. How do you overcome that? Because his parents will bitching all that.
We get that a lot. I mean, we as coaches get that a lot, and there's some coaches that would just allow that, and some coaches would continue to stay coaching their style. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? The people that I have had a hard time with that situation, you know of, because I don't know how many years I've been coaching, but out of my years of coaching, I only had about maybe 3 or 4 transfers.
Out, right.
Yeah, away from my coach.
Yep.
If that. I only can think of 2 right now. I'm trying to think hard. I only can think of 2, maybe 3. That was a basketball reason, not because they move or they fell off or something like that.
Right. That's a tribute to you then.
It's a tribute to being lucky.
Right.
You know, you got to be lucky because a lot of times it's hard to put together families. It's not just the individuals. Most of the time, it's families.
That goes back to a phrase that Ra always says, and for those that don't know who he is, he says that he's the Yankees of streetball basketball, and that's the family atmosphere. Would you say that in your time and your various spots, that that's the culture that you're trying to create, or the family as just a
Always. That's the way not having a father around my coaches was probably the first male figure outside of my uncles that admire.
And I know that the CI population is a family growing up all the way
Yes.
through, all the way through.
It's the family, regardless if you don't like it or not.
Right. And they can fight with each other, argue, but Coney Island sticks together.
Yes.
Would you say that's one thing that catapult you and your program to the next level? Because at one point you guys were good when Steph was there, but when Steph got there, you guys took off to the next level as far as the national prominence. And then luckily you had Bassie, Whiteman, and Lance. And then a host others. Is that one of the reasons why you guys were as good as successful as you were? Was the family?
Yes. Yes. Because it trickled down. I mean, that person, Coach Hartstein, trickled down to me, you know, so on and so on.
Right. What's next for you and your endeavors here at Nazareth Regional High School? If you were to predict.
So I'm the athletic director here now, so that's totally different from what I'm used to. And right now I'm on the job training as athletic director, which is good. I was on the job training as a coach. I wasn't trying to be a coach when I first got the job.
Right.
I did a good job of coaching. So that's my goal right now, to see how well I can get each program to succeed in what they're trying to do.
Right.
Being in a different league is totally different. This league is a little bit more family-oriented because it's smaller than the NCL. You actually touch and sit down and meet with people that make decisions in this league, which is wonderful. The academics in the schools is super different because it's smaller classrooms, you know. So it's different. I mean, to be honest, you know, this is the type of move I would look at a few years ago.
Right.
You know. On the coaching side, I'm the same coach as I was at Lincoln, basically. So that's not going to change. I just got to polish up on my athletic director skills. Just getting the people in the league, in the school to know what I'm about.
Right.
A lot of people don't get a chance to sit down and talk to me, so from the outside looking in, it'd be a meet situation.
Right.
Not really the situation.
Do you think that they would be apprehensive to leave of welcoming you to the community, to their family atmosphere? Because they're a traditional family, they're going to Catholic.
They're humans.
Right.
Most humans are, you know. Those people that's not used to change, I stand up just a little bit, but I don't think so. As a coach, I still had a relationship with a lot of these guys in the Catholic.
Right. And as far as the school community as an AD, so you're meeting all the teachers. You probably met at some point, want to come in contact with all the teachers. How's that been a pretty good transition in the school thus far?
Yeah, and I mean, the smoothest it can be because I'm not in the building. So.
Right.
But it shouldn't be a problem. Like you said, actually going to meet the entire student body. I mean, faculty, probably at Christmas, getting together or something. And it's usually better to meet people when you're relaxed.
Sure. Something to do. We're going to wrap up. I just want to ask the question. I think you've already answered it off camera. New York City is deemed the Mecca of basketball. Are we still currently there? And if so, if not, what can we do to get back to that level from your perspective? I know we touched a lot of topics about it, but is there one?
See, Mecca of basketball only because we did not know. New York City didn't know what was on the other side of town.
Right.
Because we didn't have the social media.
Right.
So I don't think we can say that anymore because, I mean, we're probably pioneers. But right now, it's whatever you want to do in New York City, you can do in New York City.
Right.
In the world.
Right.
Just about. Because of social media and the computer era. So that word Mecca of basketball got to change.
So we're pioneers.
Yeah, we usually start things. We usually start the trains.
How do we get it? Can we ever turn that pioneer into a Mecca?
We got to start reaching out and doing what other places are doing.
What's that?
If you go down south, this gym right here will be full of kids working on their game, you know, all year round. We're not in the gyms, or definitely not in the parks like we used to.
Why?
Because it's New York City, so much other, you know,
Other shit to do.
other business to do.
Other shit to do. Will it ever get back to it? Because the more stuff is going to get more stuff. Each year we go.
I'm kind of excited to see how this NCAA rules take effect on the high school scene. You know, right now we voted as Catholics, athletic directors. We voted to allow coaches to coach their teams outside of the season, which to me was huge because now the AAU scene might be cut down, especially for New York City, which has so many schools. So I'm happy to see that. You know, it's a great time for me. I was planning on not coaching AAU basketball, but that new rule puts me back into the game. Only because now I don't have to compete again with my peers who's been had 18 all year round, so I got to jump back in.
Right, you got to play the game.
Yes.
Okay. Anything you want to say as far as letting the world know what's coming up for you guys, in particular you?
I think we're going to have an exciting team this year on RCA. And I think all our teams in the building, basketball-wise, is going to be exciting this year. I mean, I think I got coaches compete, which is good. Not where, you know, you complacent and you're okay with just not winning. So when I walked in the building on the basketball side, I think most of the coaches that walked in with me in that stage are competing against me, which is good. You know, we got a young team, we got 9 sophomores, 1 senior, 2 juniors, so we're going to be excited.
Okay, I said we were almost over, but we're not. So you yourself raised the bar within the Nazareth community.
I think so.
Do you think that you're going to raise the bar within the Catholic division?
1,000%.
So everyone on the Catholic deck, they should be?
Yes.
Do you think that you've done the same thing statewide with the federation? Not that we care about New York State per se, but do you think that you've done the same thing?
I don't know yet. I can't see that far.
Okay. I would say that you have on all 3 levels, NAS, Catholic League, and then obviously the Federation. Public school is hurting right now, name-wise.
I mean, it's... I can't respond to that yet because there's still some good coaches. It's the fact that some coaches, some people in life need a fresh start. Can you get a fresh start where you're at right now? I had 2 fresh starts. I left at the Senior Hall, came back and won, and now I'm in Catholic. We all come from the projects, so that's a public school. So if you go from the projects to the Catholic school,
the same shit. Got it. That's a good one. So, but I'm saying, like, Catholic has gotten better coaches now, historically, and then some of the players also from the public school come over to the Catholic League. So my point is that the public school needs to step its game up in order to compete.
yes.
With you guys, the Catholic League.
Yes. And I hope that happens because it only makes us better as a
Right,
whole.
and push you.
I mean, I competed against Mo Hicks and the Crescent Kings and whoever I thought was on top.
Right.
I went after them.
Right.
You know, and I hope it continues.
Yeah, I can see a couple of programs doing it. Other than that, that's
I hope so.
yeah. But anyway, we're going to wrap up here with the MECCA podcast. I'm going to give you guys an in-depth look into basketball here in New York City with one of the greatest of all time, Tiny Morton, currently at Nazareth Regional High School in Brooklyn, New York. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate the same.
Thank you.